we're going to classify equations. And we're going to use linear equations to do this, but these categories of equations work for all different types of equations that we'll see. The three categories are conditional, contradiction, and identity. Now, a conditional equation is one where specific values work. But not everything works. And the classic example is the linear equation where you get something like x equals 3. That 3 could be a 4 or a 2, but a single x equals a value. That's a conditional. It's also true that there might be multiple answers, so x is the solution set of minus 1, 0, and 1, for instance, would also be conditional, because these three values work, but not everything works. A contradiction is an equation where nothing works. No matter what you plug in, it always comes out false, never true. And an identity is the opposite. It's where everything works. Now for contradiction, we usually say there's no solution, 0 with a line through it, or write out no solution. For everything works, we'll say that this is true for all real numbers, and that says that it works even if it's a decimal, it works if it's a fraction, if it's a number like pi, whatever it is, it always works. It's always true. There's nothing you can plug in that will make it false. So let's talk about how we recognize when something is a conditional, a contradiction, or an identity. And the idea is we're going to solve, just like we've solved everything else, solve the equation. And when we get to the last couple of steps, we'll know exactly what type it is. So let's start with the equation. 3 times the quantity x plus 3 minus 6x equals 5 times the quantity x plus 1 minus 8. So the very first thing that we're going to do is distribute. So 3x plus 9 minus 6x equals 5x plus 5 minus 8. Well, 3x minus 6x is minus 3x plus 9. Then we get 5x minus 3. Because my negative 3x is on this side, let's add 3x to get it to go over. We'll add 3 so that our number is going to be on the left. And 12 equals 8x. Now at this point, I actually already know what my answer category is going to be, what I'm going to classify this as. Because I still have a single x at this point, I can divide by 8, and I'm going to get 12/8, or 3/2 equals x, which is the same as x equals 3/2. Since I have an x equals, that means that I've got a conditional equation. Okay? Well, what if instead we get minus 4 times x minus 2 plus 3 times 4x plus 2 equals 2 times 4x plus 7. Well, here we'll distribute. We get minus 4x plus 8 plus 12x plus 6 equals 8x plus 14. Minus 4x plus 12x is 8x. 8 plus 6 is 14. I'm going to move my x's, and while I'm at it, I will move my 14s. And notice that 8x minus 8x is 0. 14 minus 14 is 0. So I get 0. 8x minus 8x is 0. 14 minus 14 is 0. 0 equals 0. Since 0 always equals 0, this is an identity, and the answer is all real numbers. No matter what I plug in, it will always come out true. Now I'm going to make just one small change to this problem. Let's leave it as minus 4 times x minus 2 plus 3 times 4x plus 2 equals 2 times 4x minus 7. So you'll notice I changed just this one sign, and that's going to make a big difference. Let's distribute, and again we get minus 4x plus 8 plus 12x plus 6 equals 8x minus 14. Combine like terms, and I get 8x plus 14 equals 8x minus 14. And notice when I subtract the 8x this time, and I'll subtract the 14 this time, I get 0 on the left, 8x minus 8x, 14 minus 14. And on the right, I get 0 minus 28. Since 0 never equals negative 28, this is false. Since my x has vanished, this means that this is a contradiction. And this equation has no solution.